All right. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Construction 241 final project Zoom video. Today we're going to be going over what we need in the final project, where to get the blocks if you don't already know, and um, what all the requirements are. So let's go ahead and I'll share my screen and share my screen. And let's go ahead and just take a look at the instructions. So these instructions are posted for you. I have now posted on the modules. I have unlocked and published the final project module. Those instructions are posted right here at the top, the fall 2024 construction 241 AutoCAD final project.doc. That is the file that we're going to be looking at right now. All right. So final project concept. The final project should be modeling a space in which you are familiar with or you want to become familiar with. This means maybe it's your current dwelling, maybe a future mother-in-law house, maybe a small vacation home. It could even be an office space with applicable furnishings. The choice is up to you. So ultimately, we're just looking for a building of your choice. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. So if you model something that's meaningful to you, like your current dwelling, and then want to, I don't know, plan to add carpet later, you could pull up this drawing and see what the dimensions are. Maybe you want to paint. You could see what your dimensions of your wall are and calculate your square footage for your wall covering. So there's all types of applications that this can be used for down the road if you make it a meaningful project. If it's a project that's just, you know, a building that's 20 feet by 15 feet and you call it good, it'll probably pass for the class as long as you put in all of the views and details that you need. However, down the line, you probably won't be able to use that for anything else. So just keep that in mind. You do have a capstone final project coming up at the end of the construction management program. So something that is modeled with a high level of detail here could be used in your capstone. All right, so implementation. The drawing must include the following. Floor plan. We need a floor plan of the entire structure, at least one level. If you want to do a two-story house, by all means, that's cool. But I would like you to finish the first floor and all the elevation details first before you start on your second floor. The reason being, I've had many students in the past try to do multi-story houses without actually completing the detailing that they needed. And the result was a grade that they were not happy with due to the fact that they were trying to bite off more than they could chew by doing two floor plans. So if you are going to do a second story, please complete your first floor plan with dimensions, windows, doors, um, all the other stuff that we're going to touch base on in just a second before starting that upper level. So again, floor plan of the entire structure, at least one level. Elevation views of all exterior walls. So these are all elevation views from the exterior looking in, same way we did in week 6. Um, so if you need to go back and go to week 6 video and take a look at how we drew the story pole and how we ended up rotating and mirroring those views to orient them so you were looking at them from the outside, please visit that or reach out if you need. Um, Elevation views, we got that. Doors, windows, walls, kitchen counter, sink, toilet, beds, couches, etc. Right? We need all of those modeled elements. Um, Modeled elements should be shown in both plan and elevation views if applicable to that view. So if we take a section cut, which we'll talk about in a second, and there's a couch between where you're taking that section cut and the wall, you're going to be showing that couch in your section cut in a profile view, and we'll get into that a little bit more in the next couple weeks. Five, at least one internal section in addition to the exterior elevations. Next week, when we meet back up on the 20th, we will go over using an interior section and creating that elevation. All right. Number six, dimensions for all prominent elements, doors, windows, cabinets, anything that can't move. So if it's a coffee table or if it's a chair, you could rearrange that living space, and those aren't fixed items. However, if you've got a fireplace, if you've got windows, if you've got an opening between your kitchen and your living room, those are all items that are fixed. They aren't going to move, and we want dimensions to them. Seven, provide titles for the rooms. So just using your text editor, you can just add in some 6-inch text for the room titles. And then last but not least, we're going to place these views on a title block as instructed in class. So we're going to do that together. We will probably be doing that together on the 27th. So sections are going to be on the 20th, interior sections will be on the 20th, and the placement of the views on title blocks we'll do together on the 27th. The final project is going to be 35% of your grade. 2D blocks are available in the week 7 module on Canvas. They're also available in the final project folder or the final project module. And these are all the blocks that we looked at last week: the chair, kitchen, sofa blocks, bathroom blocks. All right. And last but not least, if you want other blocks, you can get them from this cadblocks.net link. But remember, if you do import these blocks and bring them in, you need to use the scaling factor of 0.0393700,787 inches. And that will allow it to scale down to the correct size. The blocks that I've provided for you have already had all of the scaling done to them, so you can just drop them straight into your project. Okay, so let's take a look at an example of a final project from previous years. And I'll just go to the model. So it's pretty similar to what we've been doing in class. We've got our exterior walls, our interior walls. The difference is this is just populated more with the different blocks that I've provided. Some countertops have been added. We got a bed in the master bedroom. We've got a little desk in the office. Another bed in bedroom 2. A little front room with some couches and chairs. A garage with a garage door. Okay, so this is pretty detailed. Definitely more furniture could be added, right? There's not necessarily a TV in here or a coffee table but this is plenty to get you going. So the other thing that we're going to need to show is the same way we did before with the sections. We're going to have a north elevation where we use our construction lines and our story pole to draw out the base of that wall and where all the windows and doors live, and then you can trim that back. And then this is rotated, right, because it's a north elevation. So since it's the north side looking south, essentially. But since this door is on the left-hand side in the plan view, it's going to be on the right-hand side in this elevation as you were looking at it, standing out here, looking south. So we will need all 4 elevations for the final project, as well as the interior. And then last but not least, we haven't touched on this yet, and we will be doing so next time we meet, which is November 20th, we will be looking at internal section views. And this is just another block family that is on the final project Canvas module. It's right here, construction 241 section. Um, it's pretty easy to use once you understand what we're doing with it. So we'll go over that in depth on the 20th. But this internal section ultimately is just giving you a indication and plan view of where the internal elevation is to be cut. And if we look over here, here's that interior elevation. And you're seeing those doors, maybe seeing some cabinets or some nightstands. Um, you're seeing that bathroom door, right? So it's like you were taking a cut right through the middle of the room and you were looking the direction that the cut is facing. So pretty simple, nothing too scary, nothing too overwhelming. Um, I will show you the next part that we're going to be doing. Again, we will do this together. The most important thing is that when you come to class on Wednesday the 20th, that you at least have your floor plan modeled. You've got some basic elevations modeled, and we can just be working on finishing out the details over the next few weeks. Having a good start to your floor plan and elevations is just going to allow you to really grasp the concepts that we're teaching, um, as far as the dimensioning, and really detail your drawing so it can be built. Without having all the content drawn, you can't detail. So it's really important to get those walls in, get those doors in, get those windows in. The furniture and stuff we can place in later and we can move around. So really focus on those walls, the doors, the actual structure of this building. So last but not least, and again, sections we're going to be looking at that on November 20th. On November 27th, we will be placing these views onto title blocks. So instead of just having this black model space background, we're going to actually be using a title block, and it will show it on this white paper space. So this is the floor plan. You can see down here in this tab, it's called floor plan. We have one for a north elevation, one for an east elevation, south elevation, west elevation, and then our interior cut. So, and this is the bare minimum, right? So if you want to have 3 or 4 different section cuts, by all means, that's totally cool. If you want to, detail this to the nth degree and throw in, every piece of furniture and night table and, all of your cabinetry in your kitchen and your stove and oven, by all means, the more content you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So one more thing, just to go through bringing in blocks one more time, just so it's in this video. I'm going to go ahead and I'll just go back to my week 7. This is our class that we brought in our blocks on Wednesday. I'm going to show you one more example of downloading the block from Canvas and bringing it in. So if I go to the Canvas module, and here I don't think I've brought in, I don't think I brought in the door blocks. So let's go ahead and click on the door blocks and open up this file. Once it's open, you can click on either one of these blue links and it will start the download process. And then we can use this show in Finder or just this open, and it will open up that block file in the same session of AutoCAD, but in a new tab. So we still have our original tab where we're going to copy to. So we can just go ahead and select using our left click at the top left and then drag to the bottom right and select everything inside of that window. We're going to use our Control C method of copying. So Control C, just like you do in any other Word or email or web browser application. So Control C, and you'll see down here the command should say copy clip, and this says 1400 or 419 were found. Let's go ahead and go back to the week 7 project, and then I'm going to use Control V on my keyboard, and that will allow me to paste that in. Now, it does look like I already brought in doors, so that's okay. We can bring them in again. But let's see. I got sofas. I've got kitchens, bathrooms. So let's go ahead and do one more. I'll bring in the bed blocks. So if we go back to the modules, and we go to modules and down to bed blocks, download. There we go. Got some beds here. So same thing, gonna left click at the top left and then drag and select everything in the view. Click again to set my selection set. And then I'm going to use my Control C command, copying from this bed blocks to my week 7 file, and I'm going to hit Control V, and we're going to paste them in. And again, these extra title blocks, once they're in here, go ahead and just select them and delete them. Right, they're all those X references that we don't need. So pretty cool. We've got a lot of different blocks to choose from. A lot more detail than you're used to seeing as far as just drawing basic line work. So definitely utilize these to make your project, stand out, have some nice detail to it. One more thing before we sign this video off for the evening is I would like to take a look at how to edit one of these blocks if you need to. So say you liked this bed right here, but you didn't like the pillow on it. That's fine. Maybe it only wants one pillow. We could take this block and select it and type in EXPLODE, and we can explode it. And now this block is all built of individual line segments. So we can come here and select the pieces that I want for this pillow. Control Z. We'll select all the different line work, and you can see these lines are tiny. It's just a bunch of little tiny line segments, and it's not even drawn as a polyline. So selecting them, you can't just select one and it'll grab them all. You actually have to grab each individual segment. So there we go. I've got those lines deleted. And now I got rid of one of those pillows from that bed. So if I go back up to this bed right here, you can see that there's that second pillow on it. And here's just one pillow on this bed. Now I don't want to use this in its current state because right now it's built up of 776 line segments. So I'm going to convert that back to a block and type in BLOCK in your ribbon, in your command line. And we're going to call this bed with one pillow. And then really important, when you create a block and are in the block definition, come here to the pick a point before you click this OK so you can set your placement of where you want to bring that bed in from your blocks palette. So if I click this pick a point and I pick this left-hand bottom corner, now it knows, hey, when you inserted, I'm going to insert right in the same spot that you clicked. So if I click OK, now if I go to my blocks palette, and I go to current drawing, and I can search for bed with one pillow. There it is right there. And I can click on this, and as soon as I start dragging it over to the left and maybe bringing it over to, I don't know, my drawing. Come on. It's being very slow. Okay, I'm gonna escape. Sometimes your drawing won't let you move very well once you have a block that you're trying to insert. So zoom into the area that you want to insert that block and then go back to your block palette and drag it in again. And now that if you click and drag it, it's gonna set it wherever you release your mouse. If you click once and bring it over, then it's going to place it wherever you place your second click. So if I clicked right there, that bed now becomes right in the corner of my bedroom. Again, this is a plan view. I'd want to use a plan view elevation for it, but the concept is the same. So with that, I'm going to finish up this video. And if there are any questions, please reach out. Again, all of the information for you is posted on the Canvas website. So if you go to your Canvas and you go right here, second module down from the top, right under course docs, I've got the final project module posted. The submission is in there. The instructions for the final project, as well as all of the different blocks that I have provided. And then I've also got one last thing on here, and this is going to show some old names, which is fine. And there's no scores yet. But here is how we're going to be grading. So you'll be graded out of 20 points. There is your breakdown of where your points come from. So if you only have one of those elevation views, you're probably only going to get a 1 out of that 6, right? It's the 4 points come from 1 from each elevation, and then 2 extra of those points come from how detailed they are. So if you don't have the views, I can't give you the points. So please take a look at this for your breakdown of how the points are assigned per element, and we should be good to go. If you have any questions, please reach out via Canvas, and I will respond as soon as I am able. Thank you very much and have a great day.